Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I am your hostess with the mostest. In studio with me, I have a wonderful couple that's with me here today. Not necessarily a couple like you would think about a couple, but a couple in the terms there's two other people on the other side of the table. I have my beautiful mother, Geraldine Walker. Bowen Walker is what we call her. How are you doing, Lady Sparkle?
I am doing great. I'm doing fine.
All right, so we want you guys to just lean in and be about 12 inches away from the mic. And I also have with me my youngest brother, my brother. Many of y'all probably don't even know that we're brothers. But OJ, we call him the King Walker. OJ, how you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
And today we are in the studio and we're celebrating Mother's Day. So I brought my mama in the studio with me, which I think is customary. She has been with us probably the past couple of years for Mother's Day. And so I want to give a shout out to all of you amazing mothers that are out there, that are on the grind every single day, taking care of kids, making great things happen, making sure that the kids are fed, the clothes are clean, and sending them off. Those of you who are doing your job, this is your day. And I pray that those who have mothers that are taking care of business and doing what they're supposed to do are being treated to a special day. Take them out for a good meal. Love them. I'm telling you, you only get one mama. And when she is gone, your heart will remember that forever. So today I was not letting her get away. She doesn't like always being on the radio with me today. So I had to not only drag my brother, who is never interested in coming to the radio, but also my mom as well, because I wanted to spend this day and this time with them. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave a very, very, very well-deserved shout out to all of the mothers out there in the listening audience, continually doing what you do. Today's your day. We salute you, moms. I want to give you all an opportunity for those of you who would like to give a shout out to your mom, someone maybe you couldn't make it home. Maybe you haven't had the opportunity to see them. We're going to give you my producer is going to give us the number here at the station because I could never remember. Matt, what's that number?
Yeah, that number is 989-921-17 or 7107.
See, 989-921-7107. Notice 7107 929 7107. So if you want to give a shout out to someone, we're going to allow you to do that live on the air. Of course, you know, this is radio, so we got to keep it clean. But we want to give those Mother Day shout outs. If you want to say Happy Mother's Day to someone, you want to share a greeting, today is definitely your opportunity to do so. I see in the stream out there, Stacy Crosby, love you, love you, love you, love you so much. And we're going to just have that good old-fashioned Mother's Day celebration today as we talk with these individuals that are with me today. But I'm going to talk about first what's on my mind. So I want to give a shout out to my producer, Matthew. What's good, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Did you make your mother feel special on today, Matt?
Yep. Some of her presents are still in the mail at the moment, but yeah, she opened up some presents and we took her out yesterday for dinner and yeah.
This young generation, I tell you, everything comes through the mail. It's Amazon Deluxe, everything. But I'm glad you did that. Great mom. She's been doing great things, and I know her personally. She works here at the station, so I'm excited to know that you were doing that. Okay, so let's talk about some other things that are going on, the goings-on in the community. We talked about moms. It is Mom's Day, Happy Mother's Day, and all of that good stuff. But I want to say shout out to my brothers from HELP for such a another successful expungement clinic, helping folks get free from the things that hold them down. We're talking about those felonies, and so many people were able to be helped on yesterday. And for those of you who registered, sometimes I think that we try stuff and we say that we're going to do things, and then we get nervous thinking, they're not going to let me do this. There were so many people who registered or showed up, and I'm not sure what was the thing that took you away, maybe because you just thought the line was too long, but you all were able to get expungements. We called so many people who were able to get expungements that had left the building or did not show up on the day of the event. And so I felt really bad about that. But there were so many of you that were able to come out. We were able to assist. Some people were thinking like, I thought this was a joke. I didn't think this was real. They came to the person. They were told that, they weren't able to do it at the time, but they came back and they were diligent and were able to get free. So it's great to see people get their freedom from things that keep them from getting jobs, stop them from getting housing in certain situations. And so it's exciting to see that happen. And on yesterday, I was able to give notice to that once again. And it was an amazing experience seeing how people left there giving high fives, fist bumps, because they were now able to enter into a new phase of life, living beyond those expungements. And so I think that's important to know that. All right. So I want to say shout out to HELP. That's Healing, Engagement, Love, and Presence. My brothers that are out there, thank you so very much for being diligent and working, Terry. And here I go, man. I don't want to even start naming everybody, but Antonio, Terry, my big brother Rod. We got James out there. Pastor Simpson was there for a bit. So many brothers. Larry Walker Jr. You got to say his whole name. Can't just say Larry Walker. Larry Walker Jr. All of those brothers that are a part of HELP that were there on yesterday doing the work, making it happen. It was just amazing just to see brothers doing this kind of work. And so I'm excited. Give a shout out right now to Mother Walker. Great to see you, Jeff Bulls, Laura Jones. Hi, Mother Walker. Happy Mother's Day. Love you. Now, I am the host of the show, but she gets the shout out. Okay, Laura, I still love you. And I'm going to assume just because it's this special day, but she's always talking to her and not having conversations with her brother. Regia Paris Laundry, aka awesome info and great experience to be eligible for an expungement. So thank you for tuning in. Once again, Mother Walker, I think that you're going to get a lot of play on today since it's your day. My brother Terry Reed says, happy birthday, Mom Walker. We love you. He tried to make me jealous yesterday, but she's still my mama, bruh. All right, so I want to talk to you guys really quickly about a couple of things. Oh, shout out UAW Local 699, Amos O'Neill, Representative O'Neill. Amos O'Neill and Brendan Board, let me tell you a little bit about them. I don't know how they do it. People talk about me doing a lot, but they are at everyone's everything. Yesterday or on Saturday, there was a meetup to clean up that the mayor sponsors. It was the first one. There's another one that's taking place on the 17th with businesses. Yesterday were organizations. On the 17th, there are businesses that are going to be meeting up to clean up. And so she was at the meetup to clean up. And I'm going to tell you, when me and the kids did it last year and the year before last, we were wore out by the time we were done with this. Me and a whole bunch of teenagers tired to the max, right? And so she was at that event. She was talking. I know she was engaging everybody. I look up and I did not expect her, but she is one of the individuals who made the expungement possible. She is in the place. Then I look up and Amos O'Neill has 40 different things going on the same day, and he shows up. One thing I'm going to tell you about these two individuals who are elected officials, I did not expect them, and I don't expect them to show up at the things that we do, especially when they lean in so hard for us to be able to make the connections with, the attorney generals, the statewide, the department of Secretary of State. When we are connecting with them, they do so much work to make those entities come all the way to Saginaw that on the day of, I don't expect them to show up in the capacity that they do with 95 other things going on, and they show up at every single thing that takes place. Mom, I think you said that you were just at a Mother's Day tribute thing and the mayor was there as well.
Sickle cell.
Sickle cell. Mm-hmm. So she was there on today. So I just want to say shout out to those individuals who are doing the work. It's one thing, and they're representing well. And what I love about it is that they're not just representing the Black community, they're representing the entire body of constituents that they represent. I was sharing with someone just a couple of days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, that you'll see Amos, on a fishing boat and waders up to his hips. Then he's riding horses, and then he's, doing marches on the street and talking with kids and reading books in elementary school. This is the kind of engagement that we want from our elected officials, that they're not only hearing what we say, but they're putting into action by showing that they're going to be present. Then not only that, those brothers and sisters are helping to get money to the city of Saginaw. They're making it happen in ways that we've never seen happen. And it's not an endorsement. I'm just thanking them for their service. They're currently in office. This is not a promotion. This is just me seeing and being able to work alongside them as we do great things as a Saginaw community. Another shout out to Sylvia Molina. This happens to be your wonderful niece. Happy Mother's Day, Auntie Geraldine Walker, Antonia Brooks. Love y'all. Happy Mother's Day. Cerise Steele Phillips. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers in stream. Good evening, everyone. And once again, if you'd like to give a special tribute, we're allowing that opportunity. The number is 989-921-7107. 989-921-7107. My producer over, he's looking like, no. 989-921-7107. So let's make sure that you get that. You can come on air and we'll allow you to do that shout out. The thing that's on my mind today is, and I'm going to hope that I'm going to try to get Ben Crump. He's been on this show before. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump. He's been on here before. Happy Mother's Day to you as well, Shara Goolsby, all the way down in the Detroit area. You're a hit, Mother Walker. So she does a lot of work with a lot of people. So I'm not surprised when they see you, they want to greet you. Happy Mother's Day to you as well, Shara Goolsby. I still am going to get you in this show so that we can talk about the great work that you're doing. Black-owned bed and breakfast down in the Detroit area. If y'all heading down that way, put the information in the stream so that we can share that out as well, because folks in Saginaw ain't got nothing to do but go to Detroit and hang out. So we look for those opportunities to support Black-owned businesses. But Ben Crump, back to this. He has been in the news for a couple of different things. And whenever civil rights attorneys are in the news, it's never a good thing for the most part. Well, we knew just a couple of weeks ago, and I shared with you all about the man who had just been released from prison 18 days prior. He was working on overturning that conviction because he said that the information that they were utilizing was incorrect. He was in a car. He ran into a pole and then went to a local, they said watering hole, but it was kind of like a bar, if you would. I think that's the best way. Police officers come in. When they said that they were going to call the police, he said, please make sure that the sheriff is there because I don't want these people trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me is what he said. The police officers show up, just some regular officers. And in that position, he said, listen, call the sheriff now, because he had already had issues and complaints with what was going on as it related to him being unlawfully incarcerated, only out 18 days. This escalated. They ended up putting him in a series of holds. He went to the floor, knee on the back. We know where this is going. And he said several times, I can't breathe. I don't know what it is about folks in this day and age, post George Floyd, post Tamir Trice, post all the things that are going on, that when they put knees on back and folks are saying that they cannot breathe, that it ends instead of with that man being given attention to. As a matter of fact, one of the officers says, shut the F up to him when he's telling them that he can't breathe. None say left. He goes unconscious. He gets to the hospital. Another man dead at the hands of law enforcement. And that was just a few weeks ago. We now have, and this is, it's open season. So mothers, wives, hide your sons, hide your husbands, because they going crazy out here. And so Brother Antoine, give a shout out to the memory of Brother Antoine. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Y'all remember that. But it's open season once again, and we've got to make sure that we are being visible and vocal about what's taking place. In Florida, U.S. Air Force senior airman Roger Fortson was killed by law enforcement. And what happened is, according to a witness, he was on the phone with his girlfriend doing FaceTime. Now, they're having a FaceTime conversation, according to her. As they were FaceTiming, Roger, they were having this conversation. He was alone in the apartment when he heard a knock at the door. The knock was at the door. He went to the door. He looked through the peephole, did not see anyone because, of course, they knock and hide around the corner so they can catch you, the element of surprise. He asked, who is it? But didn't get a response. A few minutes later, there was a very aggressive knock on the door. But Roger didn't see anyone when he looked through the peephole. As I said, concerned, he did what any law-abiding citizen would do and retrieved his legally owned gun. which he was licensed to carry as an exemplary sea airman for the Air Force. But as he was walking back to the living room, police burst through the door. When they saw him with a gun, they shot Roger 6 times. I saw this video. I saw the body cam video. This was absolutely horrific, and it really would make your blood boil. They shot him 6 times. The witness said that she saw Roger on the floor, stating that I can't breathe once again after he was shot. She also said the police were in the wrong apartment as they had no disturbance in the apartment and he was alone. So they were called. There was a wrong apartment. They knocked on the door. No answer. He goes, gets his gun, because I'm telling you, knock on my door and then you start banging on the door. I'm coming back and I'm going to give you 365 reasons to go to a different apartment. 357, excuse me, reasons to go to a different apartment. And that's what he did. And so they burst through the door. They saw him with the gun. And if you see the body cam, it's online, so you can Google this. You see the man is sitting there. They said, step back. He starts to go back. And as he takes steps back, because he's a black man who's armed, even though he's legally armed, there are folk out there who aren't comfortable with us being able to be legally armed as well. 6 shots to this young man, this Air Forceman with exemplary honors. He is doing great, and now he is dead. And so Ben Crump is going to be representing him. I want to give you guys one more thing, and this is local. This is close to home. Took place right here in Kentwood, Michigan. I'm going to share that with you. But Kareem Hammond, my brother, called me this week enjoying this podcast. God bless you. This is a radio show. This is not a podcast. Get it right. No, but I love you, my brother, down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jeffrey Bulls, reform isn't working. And absolutely, we continually hear about police reform. But how can you reform people? It's people reform. It's how they see us. If you saw the movie How They See Us, there are some people that just tense up and get scared when they see black people in certain situations because they're not used to it. And this is one of the reasons why we need officers who look like us. Shout out to Bridge the Gap, Ayite Soa, and the work that they're doing by getting folks who look like us, not just look like us, but also understand our experiences and understand our culture and where we come from, that are able to adequately deal and address with the issues that we're dealing with. Mama Rosa Williams, happy Mother's Day to you. She says, happy Mother's Day, Geraldine Boy Walker. I told you, she getting all the salutes. And so we love you. But right here in Michigan, y'all listen to this, because this stuff is happening even here in Michigan. You know, we talked about Milton Hall and we talked about other things that had happened. But there's a situation that took place in Kentwood, Michigan. This is outside of Grand Rapids. Nationally renowned civil rights attorney, once again, Ben Crump, is involved with this particular situation. A 25-year-old Samuel Sterling, a black man who was struck and killed by an unmarked police vehicle after being pursued and chased by the law enforcement on Wednesday, April 17th. After being approached by the police officers at a gas station, Sterling ran away and was chased on foot to a nearby Burger King. And during that time, he was struck by the police officer. You know, sometimes they'll hit your car or hit you, and they'll try to disable you or keep you from moving or running, whatever the situation was. In broad daylight, Sterling was rushed to the hospital after that, and he died from his injuries of being struck with the car by police officers. And Attorney Crump issued the following statement: it is unconscionable. Y'all like that big word? It is unconscionable that Samuel Sterling was run over by police officers in a vehicle in broad daylight. The Michigan State police officers involved in Samuel's death should be swiftly and thoroughly investigated for the senseless and preventable tragedy. He goes on to say, Samuel's parents will never be able to hold their son again, and his own children will grow up without a father. We demand answers and are seeking justice and accountability on behalf of Samuel's family. Now, I said that, and I'm going to tell you what the naysayers are going to say. Why did he run from the police in the first place? Why were they pulling him over in the first place? You know, it's interesting. People don't understand that there's something called driving while black that actually happens, or walking while black. Go ask Trayvon Martin that question. We cannot be in certain area codes and zip codes without people thinking that we are suspicious, or that we fit the the identification of a person who committed a crime in the area. These are things that we hear. And I'm not anti-police. I work with police officers, and a lot of the work we're doing with community violence intervention is with officers. But we've got to begin to understand not only this whole idea of police officer reform. You can't reform overnight people who are afraid of you. You can't reform people who don't understand you. And so it's very important, as we talk about implicit bias, folks bring the issues that they have from their rural communities to the urban cities where they often work. And so we've got to begin to have some very strong conversations and do what we can to make things happen. They're going to bring change. There aren't enough consequences for police misconduct. There you got it. Happy Mother's Day, Victoria Harris, to you. So everyone is enjoying. So I want to give this shout out, and then we're going to get back to Mother's Day. We're going to take a break. And we're going to come in. I'm going to talk to this wonderful woman that's here with me today. She's not just here, but we're going to talk a little bit about my mama. Y'all going to see on my mama, on my hood. She is fly. She look good. No, I'm just joking. I absolutely love her. She thinks I have absolutely no sense, but I adore her because she has been one of my greatest supporters. And I want to talk with her a little bit. My brother's going to be here, and we're going to talk about the importance of mothers and the importance of celebrating mothers and the great contributions and sacrifices that mothers make to the lives of their children. Whenever you see a young man or a woman who's doing great things, I guarantee you there is an exceptional mother that is behind them, that has supported them through the entire thing. And we're going to talk to her about that. But I want to give a shout out. You're going to hear more about this coming up. There is a Black Male Summit that's taking place in collaboration with Saginaw Juneteenth Celebration Committee. It's going to be on Wednesday, June the 19th. It's going to begin at 9 to 3 p.m. We have an all-male barbecue that's going to be after that with fireworks the entire 9. We want you all to be involved. This is going to be absolutely amazing. I've been talking with brothers. We need brothers from every single element of life. We need the educated brothers. We need the brother who needs a mother. We need the brother who needs another brother, somebody out there who needs to come together. Every single brother, whether you were incarcerated, you were free, whether you were a judge, you were an attorney, you were a lawn cutter, whatever your role is in life, we need all of our brothers come together because we're going to have a summit on the Black man, and we're going to deal with some of the issues from the village, some of the things that we need to talk about in the community. We're going to do some empowerment sessions. We got some amazing giveaways we're going to do. We're bringing in folks who have jobs to bring those applications with them, good paying jobs that you can take care of families, and we're going to get the village right. Kansaria and Angara, yes, the villages will, because our brothers are getting themselves together. So we thank you for all that is going on. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be more of Straight Talk. We're going to be back with more Straight Talk and the wonderful Geraldine Bowen. Welcome, my mama. That's my mama, y'all. Come on in. Tune in. Call your cousins, your play cousins, your sister, brother, mother down the street. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the studio with Geraldine Bowen Walker, who happens to be my mother. I'm so glad to have her with us in the studio stream. Mom, how are you doing today on this Mother's Day?
I am wonderfully blessed. I'm doing great.
All right. So, Mom, so this is Mother's Day. You are here. She's giving me so much to work with, y'all. You know, tough crowd. Shout out to Tizal Talks. She gives a shout out to Mother's Day, Jenny DeMoore, and Shar Goolsby. I got to read this one. She says, "Your mother looks so beautiful. I love her outfit. So stylish. You want to stand up and take? I'm messing with you.
Thank you, Shar.
Shar, we certainly thank you for those kind words. And y'all know I love that woman. So Mom, today is Mother's Day, and we've been together this entire day. Not only have we shown you love, but you've taken the time to show some love for the other people that are out there, and to the other women. We always celebrate the women by giving roses. We give every woman that comes to church on their flowers on a typical Sunday. And so you took that opportunity to do that. Why is celebrating Mother's Day so important to you, Mom?
Because I know that mothers are special. I had a mother, and I know just what she meant to me. So I'm sure that everybody who has a mother that's alive, they cherish those moments, or they should. And if they don't, then I say they better get it together.
She sounded like she was about to give y'all mama spanking real quick. Mom, growing up, and you grew up, and I say a very different mother than many other people have experienced, with a mother who happened to also be the pastor's wife. Talk about who the pastor's wife. To talk to me about who gave you and what skills did you find were very important. Talk about your mom and the things that she instilled in you.
Well, first of all, I was brought up in church. I was from a family of 10. I had five brothers, and it was a 5 girls, so it was 10 of us. And so we had to learn how to share. We had to learn how to just really love each other. And then when the days that we felt like we didn't want to love each other, then we found ourselves in trouble.
Go ahead.
But I just really, truly thank God for the parents that I had who instilled great things into us and made me the woman that I am today.
Mom, I want to ask you this question because there's so many people who are going to be able to relate to this. My brother and I are so fortunate to have you. You're yet here, so we have you with us. What do you say to those individuals out there whose mom is no longer with them and coping with Mother's Day after mom has gone on to be with her maker? What would you say to encourage those people?
I say that there is no hole so deep that God is not deeper still. I know that I went through, my mom passed 15 years ago, and I'm still really heartbroken over it. You just don't get over that kind of stuff because there's a bond between a mother and a child. And we lost our mother. It was it was May 7th of 2009. And Mother's Day was May 10th of 2009. So you can see we were crushed at that point in time. But I have learned to, I'm not going to say get over it, because there's no way that you get over the love that you have for a mother if you have got a good mother. But we have learned to deal with it some. And I pray a lot, and God gets me through. I don't have always good days. And so I just think the ones who are having problems with it, because sometimes they feel some kind of way on Mother's Day and they don't want to go to church.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to be around anybody. I started off kind of that way for a couple of years, and then I got to the point where I wanted to celebrate with the other people who had mothers that were alive.
And so that pulled you out of that place of darkness and despair.
Absolutely.
And being able to appreciate. I remember, and this is a real conversation. So some of you may say, "Oh, we don't want to tune into this," but there are millions of people who are suffering. Mother's Day, on holidays, special days, period. Yeah. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, those Thanksgiving Day, those days, birthdays, where you're supposed to be jubilant and excited and all of these other things. Sometimes it is a very different place and a difficult place for a lot of people to deal with. And I remember saying to you, as she said, my grandmother passed on the 7th. Mother's Day was the 10th, so just 3 days after, and having to pull it together after such a huge loss. My grandmother was not only the matriarch of the family, but she was the glue that kept everything together. We were raised in that kind of family. And I remember saying to you, after I gave you that first Mother's Day, and then the next Mother's Day, that spirit of grief came again. And I remember saying to you, Mom, I understand that you miss your mother, but you've got to remember that you still have children,
Right.
and your children want to celebrate you. And when you're sad and when you're hurting, I know that you're expressing how you feel, but we need you to also understand that our desire is never to see our mother hurt or cry. And it was a real conversation, and I remember you grinned. And this speaks to what mothers have to do. Sometimes they have to smile in the face of adversity, which is one of the reasons why these two guys that are with you today will never let a Mother's Day go and not celebrate you. As a matter of fact, we try to honor you and do that every day of the year. But on this particular day, we're never going to not allow you to feel special, because we understand the sacrifice that was made. I want to give a shout out Jackie Wade Day, my mama from my spiritual mother. I love her. We also have Elaine Cook that's out there, Tamika Martin all the way out there. Elaine Cook. And I would love to have, if you could call in 989-921-7107, 989-921-7107. That is like a second mom. I got all these moms that are in the stream who are moms to me in different ways. But Elaine Cook, she said she cried so hard today. I want to talk about, and this has been 15 years. This is my mom's sister. I want to talk about really processing those emotions. So if you could call in, I'd greatly appreciate it. Elaine Cook at 989-921-7107 to get your feedback. Jackie Wade Day, who knew my grandmother, they met and instantly we became family. Said that she was such an anointed woman of God. All of these years later, Stacy Crosby was out there. We've had that conversation. How do you get through it? Everyone's celebrating their mother and giving flowers, and your mom is not here. Especially when it's the last parent, it becomes very challenging. Bruh, I want to ask you the question. You growing up in a household that had a lot of love. You experienced the love of my grandmother. She probably gave you more whoopings than anybody. And also having a mom who supports. What is so important about Mother's Day and the importance of our mom in your life?
I just think just seeing the sacrifice over the years and what she did to make sure we had everything that we needed. She just put in overtime, and it just makes you appreciative.
And I agree with you. One thing that I'll say about my mother never stops mothering. Okay, first of all, like as grown as we are today, two big old grown, we can pick her up on our shoulders, put her on our back, and run a marathon. Well, we might get tired with the marathon part, but I'm just saying how we are fully grown men, and she never stops mothering. And I want to say this because this is important. We're our mother's boys, but we ain't mama boys. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? So we love her. She understands because we make sure that she understands boundaries. But we have an amazing relationship, and I'm never going to put my mother in a position where she has to justify our relationship. And if anybody comes in and says, "Oh, yep," no, listen, she was here first, and I know that the Bible says cleave and leave, and I'm going to do that. But I need you to also understand the sacrifices that this woman has made. And it doesn't make me a mama's boy. It makes me my mother's boy. And I always love her. So I think that we need to understand that. Char Goolsby asked a question. What advice would you give mothers raising sons with all of the negative influences in the world? Ooh, good question. That's for you, mother.
Ooh, that's a very good question. All you got to do is just look. Well, I can't say all that you have to do, but I know that we have to constantly encourage our guys, because it's so easy for them to get involved in things out in the street. There's so much going on. They say, "Oh, it ain't nothing," but it's a lot of things that are going on out there, and you have to constantly encourage them, and sometimes just sit and talk to them, because a lot of times they'll close in. My youngest son now, he's one that doesn't speak out a lot, so I have to kind of figure him out sometimes. and then I'll ask him what's going on, how you doing, is everything okay? So we have to just challenge them and keep talking to them and encouraging them for one thing, because people out in the street are not going to encourage our boys. They'll let them sit out there and get in trouble, but I'm here for mine. And I know as long as you encourage yours, like he says, I know they're grown, but a mother is always going to be a mother to her sons or her children. And believe it or not, they're going to have to get with it.
She says to us all the time, I'm going to be your mama till the day I die. And so, yeah, just because you grown and just because you think you know everything, she is yet a mother. And I appreciate that. Even though we kick back sometimes, we appreciate it. And something that my brother said, and I say this to moms, man, when we're not talking is when we need you to talk the most.
Absolutely.
And my brother is the strong, silent. I tell everything. If I'm feeling some kind of way, I tell it.
No worries.
So I'm gonna say what I feel. But this is how, each child is different. And as a mother, you have to know that. My brother is the strong, silent type. He is representative of a large generation of people who are out there today who have sons. And I've recognized this because there's a 16-year difference between my brother and I. So I was a teen father early on in the game. But one thing that she does is if we're together and we're engaged and he's shutting down, she'll let him have that moment. But as soon as I'm gone, and maybe it's just because of them, they always do this. When I'm gone, they get together. But she has a way of coming in and speaking to you specifically and being mother-like. And when you don't want to talk, coming in and having the conversation and getting you to open up. You don't want to talk, so she talks to you. Ma, I don't feel like talking right now. And she continues to talk. And that's one thing that I don't see a lot of mothers do. When kids say they don't want to talk, well, we're going to give you some space. That's really when we want you to draw in, especially as young boys. So Shar, you asked the question, what advice? The things that I've seen my mother do that have been so successful in really tapping in. My brother getting a little misty-eyed over there. He says it's hot, but he got a little misty. My mother has never allowed us to be alone in our feelings and with our feelings when we were really at a low point in our lives. And even though you irritated the heck out of us, Ma, I want to say that I appreciated you at the same time because I didn't want to feel what I was feeling in those moments.
I try hard not to nag my boys, and sometimes, maybe I do sometimes, but I want to feel where they're coming from. And sometimes they don't get me, but I understand me. And I saw the way my mother raised her sons. And that was a true good example, So I just thank God for the bringing up that my parents did for me and my siblings to make us what we are, troublemakers, and, most of us try to go to church. And that's a blessing.
And I got Elaine Cook. I think I got my aunt Elaine Cook. She's in here. She's actually in town. I had a chance to see her for Mother's Day. Didn't get to spend much time because, I always say these people are like my mom, but they do have their own children. And I'm kind of selfish. So I want all of them to myself. So if I had all of my aunts, I would take them all out to dinner, buy them all flowers, and spend all of the time by myself. And that's why my cousins be like, who does he think she is? To my cousin Diamond out there, she says, not too much on my auntie, laugh out loud. I'm going to get to our caller, but I do want to make mention. Terry said something. Terry Reed, my brother out there, he says, it's crazy. My mom is still with us, but in a facility for dementia. I hurt knowing I can't do much for her. I can't imagine being without my mother. Mom, what do you say to someone? Because I think about Don Vivens. Shout out to my brother Don Vivens, who's out there, whose mother also was in a facility, who suffered dementia and could not remember her kids. What do you say to somebody like Terry, like Don, whose mother is suffering from dementia, and she's here, but she's not really able to be here for them? What do you say to them?
The thing that I would say to them is to continue to be what you can be for your mother, to continue to love on her and cherish her because she's still here. But, as long as you do the right thing, and as long as you love your mother, if anything should happen later on in life, then you know that you've done everything you could to make your mother happy. I say go all the way when it comes to your mother, because she went all the way for us.
Because and this is the thing that I still believe that when a person is, I don't believe to me, and I say this to you, my brother Terry, and to whoever else may be suffering from someone who has suffering from dementia, even though that person isn't able to connect, and I think that's what dementia is, the spirit is still there. Man is a spirit who has a soul, who lives in a body. And when you go, I know sometimes it's hard to make the connection because you're saying she don't even know, she can't communicate. I don't really, what can I do? She's not really. But the fact of the matter is when she's, as long as she's alive, that spirit is there.
That's right.
And although she's not able to make the connection between the outside world to the inside world, her spirit man knows exactly what's going on. So when you go, allow yourself to some grace and to understand that you're loving her, and her spirit receives everything that you say and do. So as you celebrate her with the understanding that that spirit man is receiving everything, because we are spirit people.
Right.
So we connect spirit to spirit, and our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts and our ability to speak are all ways that the spirit communicates to the outside world. And when those things are severed, that's what dementia does. It severs our ability to communicate spirit to spirit. Understand that spirit really understands what you're doing and the love that exists in that space. And so I want to thank you. I want to bring our caller in. A happy Mother's Day to my aunt, Elaine Cook.
Yes.
I say Richardson Cook. She is also Jay Rich's mom. But you said something. I mean, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good now. Unexpectedly, I wasn't expecting to have all the emotions that I had today, seeing that it's been 15 years to mother, but you never lose the love that you have for a good parent or for your mother. And it just let me know, even though it's been 15 years, I missed her dearly, still miss her dearly, and I don't care how old it gets, she's still my mother.
Yes.
Auntie, and I didn't, I got a chance when I saw you. I jumped up and I gave you a hug as you were walking around today. I did not get to spend the kind of time that I like to spend with my aunties. But what I do, I want to ask you this question, because see, this is psychology, and sociology is a space that you operate in. You've been trained here. What do you say someone who seemingly is getting stuck in the grieving process and cannot move and doesn't know how to move from just feeling that sense of loss when these days come around?
Wow. When you get to that point, you have to push yourself. Because I believe I heard Jerry say earlier, or it might have been you, that you're still living for someone else. Like I have children, and at one point I was stuck. But my older sister, our older sister, Pat, came along and she said, Elaine, Mother wouldn't want you to live like this. Mother would want you to go out and enjoy your children, because Mother's Day, even though you were celebrating your mother, now your children want to celebrate you. And so when you get to a position in your life where you just feel like you're stuck, you have to push yourself, give yourself that extra shove, that extra push. If you're a believer, begin to pray more, cry out to God. You just have to get around other people. And I believe in counseling. If you need counseling, go to counseling. There's nothing wrong with that. That's such a stigma in the Black community. We're getting better. But if you need counseling, that's what counselors are there for, to walk you through that, where you might not be able to tell me why you're stuck because I'm your aunt. You might be able to go and tell a stranger things that you can't tell me. So when you're in a position where you just feel like I just feel hopeless, there's always hope. As long as you've got breath in your body.
Yes.
Get out and speak with someone, get around people, because if you isolate yourself, what is that going to do? Bring in more depression. So you have to push yourself, if you're a man. I know you don't know nothing about pushing a baby out, but you just have to give it that extra push, that extra shove. I can do this. I have to do this, because not only for the others around me, but for my own mental health. So always, stay around people, stay around positive people. You don't need to be around nobody who's talking a whole lot of junk. No. Be around positive people. And if it gets to a point where even pushing yourself to your limit, seek counseling. That's what counselors are there for. Counselors are there to help. And that would be my advice.
I got one more question for you before we let you go, Ani Lane. And it's
Mhm.
kind of in the same vein. I have a really good friend, a great brother who, just like my mom, had two sons. One of
Mhm.
those sons died about a year ago, February, and
Mhm.
it has been hard for that mother. Understanding because a child, in our world should never go before the mother. We've had experiences like this. What would you say to that mother who's having a hard time of picking up the pieces and, kind of really getting back to life? As you said this made me think of it. She sequesters herself in her home, very rarely gets out, stop doing the things that made her uniquely her, because she's grieving the loss of a child that no longer is here. What would you say in this moment if that person was hearing to encourage them through this process? Because it's grief at
Yeah.
its finest. But what would you say to that person?
First of all, is that her only child?
She has one child left. She had two boys and one is
Okay.
left.
She needs to take all that love and put it into that child, because what she's doing, she's isolating herself, but she's also isolating that other child, because the other child feel like, well, maybe I don't matter.
Mm.
Who am I? She's not taking that grief. She's taking that grief and she's barricading herself. From what I understand, she's barricading herself, and she has someone there that loves her, which is that other child. So if I can't say how I would feel because I haven't been there, and God, I pray that I don't have to go there. But I go back to my older sister who lost her first child during pregnancy. The child lived for a few days, and she lost a second child. He was 21 years old. She
In
was drowning in an
1983, June
accident.
23rd. Yep.
Yes, and then she lost her granddaughter. Today is that I don't know. That might have been the reason why I was upset too. Today is her anniversary for her demise, her death, Jasmine. And then she turned around and she lost her oldest son. Wow.
Yeah,
She's
can't
gone through a
imagine.
lot of death with her children, but she has that one child left. And I had to tell her, I think we all did, Pat, you can't isolate yourself.
No.
You still have Bridget here. Thank God you have one, because some don't have any.
Yeah.
They lose them all to a fire, to an accident. So, grasp hold to Bridget, your grandchildren. Get out and enjoy life, because life didn't stop there. And she probably would tell me, no, and Pat, you got a lot of nerve. You got all six of your kids.
Yeah.
But, as a mother, my heart goes out to her,
Yes.
but she has to get out and live life. That child wouldn't want her to isolate herself like that.
Mhm.
That son, I believe you said her son, he wouldn't want his mother to do that, because you know what she's doing? Bottom line is she's killing herself
Wow.
because of the grief process, because she's just grieving, and she's not allowing herself to live. And that child would want his mother to live.
Wow.
And that's what I would say to her.
Thank you for those powerful words of wisdom. Happy Mother's Day to you, my dear Ani Lane. I love you.
I love you guys too. Thank you so much.
All of that wisdom.
My children would not allow you to take me nowhere. This is the first time I've been home in 6 years.
Straight haters.
Yes.
Oh, we thank you. So what she was saying was that grieving is a necessary process. However, if we get stuck in the grieving process, it begins to have a negative and adverse effect, meaning that it begins to kill us. Shar Goolsby says, from a spiritual perspective, Satan wants to see you stuck, to stay stuck. Pushing through prayer and getting help may pull you through. There's a song out there that says, through all I've been through, it was you pulling me through. Carla Mathis, happy Mother's Day. Mother Walker's, happy Mother's Day to you, Carla
Hey,
Mathis,
Carla, same
and
here.
your amazing, beautiful daughters. Gordy Harris says, love you guys. All right, Mom. I want to say this. If you were going to share with someone what you think were your successes, the things that you did well as a mother, what would you share and what would you say would be some of those things that you did well?
Ooh, that's a
I'm
good
putting you on the
question.
spot.
Yes, yes, you
And we're going
are.
to say, if you're wrong. No, just go ahead.
I don't know. I just try to instill the good things in you, because we know that the things that bad things or things you don't have anything doing, that's easy to pick up. Even a little kid can pick up
Right.
those things. But we have to instill the good things in you, so that you know that you're going to be all right and you're going to make it. Like I say, encouragement is one of the biggest things for me. You have to encourage. I wonder sometimes how Kareem does so many things that he does, but I think through my encouragement, and sometimes I'll tell him what I don't think he should be doing, and whatever. But I think we have to encourage our kids. That's the biggest thing for me. We have to encourage our kids. But I did want to say this. I was stuck when my mother passed, and it didn't seem like I was going to be able to get out of it. My kids didn't want to be around me. A lot of them, my family members, really wasn't crazy about being around me at that point, because I don't know. I thought I was going to lose it for a while. I really did. I thought I was going to lose it. But then when I sit back and I really, really had a chance to get my mind together and think, I said, I got 2 sons. That's all I had. 2 sons that are living for me, or you got me there, and I just I needed to be there for them. But I only had the 2 guys, and Lord, I said, help me, because I want to be here to help my kids. And I was no help for my kids in the situation I was in, but I know that it was a process. And like I said all the time, you never get over it, but you can kind of get through it a little bit.
You learn
know
to
what I'm
manage
saying?
it. Yeah.
able
Yeah.
to
So the
manage
loss is real,
it. Yeah, it
and you
is.
never get over the loss of a loved one,
Yes.
but you learn to manage it. Now I got to ask you the question of the hour that everyone's out there listening and waiting. Who was easier to parent? Who was easier? Was it the younger brother or myself? Because I tend to think in my own world, in my own mind, that I was a great child, easy, no problems, just easy, just an easy child to raise. So tell the world, who was the easiest to raise, my brother or myself?
You shouldn't put me on the spot like that.
We've been wanting to know this for a long time. Go ahead, say OJ.
Your earlier years, don't say that.
I'm just joking. She hates
Your
this.
earlier years, you were really easier to manage or to talk with, deal with.
I did what I was told.
No, yeah. And then as you got older, you just got like, we wrestle sometimes, But with OJ, he's pretty laid back and calm and collective. So, I mean, he's getting a little bit more mouthier now that he sees that, he needs to. And sometimes they both have to put me in check sometimes. And I accept it, and I'll sit back and I think about it, and I said, well, yeah, they're right. I can kind of back up because they're grown men. And I'm not going to say that one is easier to manage was easier to raise than the other, but because they both had their own things going on. And sometimes it was rough on me, but I just deal with it.
I'm gonna give you. We got about a minute and a half left. What would you want to say to Ma on the air? Just in terms of the type of mom, but when you think about Mom and you think about who she has been and what she has done for us, what is it that you would want to say to her?
I'm just proud of the woman that you are.
Oh wow!
You've been an exceptional mother, especially just all the years of her being sick.
Yeah,
still trying to make things happen.
Yeah,
like being bedridden. Like a lot of holidays, especially like around New Year's, we would spend with her just being sick.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to see her up and walking,
man,
and just in a healthy state, because it was such a hard thing to go through, like all those years with you just being sick all the time. So just to see you happy and healthy and moving around, that just makes me happy.
Oh wow!
No, that's real. Since 2000 and this is real, and we're gonna close out here. I didn't mean to go there. Most people don't know it, but from 2000 to 2005, 4, my mother had 5 major surgeries, and we didn't know if she was going to make it or not. And that was one of the reasons they got me back to the city of Saginaw, because I was never coming back. And I was preparing since 2000 for her possible demise. And I don't think that anybody could understand what that's like, to not know, to have faith and believe. So you're preparing for forever. But the reality that she could go, because it was ovarian cancer, then it was cervical cancer, and then there was a spot on the lung. It was just one thing after another. And going through that process and thinking at any moment you could lose your mom was something very serious, because for me, it's always just been me and mom rocking out. And then for you, the changing of from 2 parents to 1 parent. And so I value and I thank God that he's a healer and a deliverer and a waymaker. Your life and you pursuing and pushing through, like my brother said, a lot of holidays and birthdays and Christmases weren't, we had big ones, and I bought great gifts because we weren't sure if you're going to be there the next one. And so we spent a lot of holidays around your bed, and people don't know that. And to be able to have you here today, and the God, has healed your body, and to see you, and it's a small thing, dressed the way that you are with heels on,
Yes.
and living your best life. I feel like and God giving you a new lease on life. I feel like we hit the jackpot. And so I never want to argue. I don't want to spend time wasting time not loving you. People talk about, they say you talk to your mother all day long. I really do, because I'm thankful to have a mother who's still here. And the things that we went through, and the things that I sat by your hospital bed and saw. So I appreciate you. So I don't care what anybody else has to say. I'm a mama's boy. That is my mama. So you're right. But I've seen the struggle, and I've seen you push through and be there and be present, even when your body didn't feel like it. And so I thank you, and we celebrate you on this Mother's Day. And I say to anyone who's out there, you don't know when your last time to speak with your mother may be. So take the moment to love her. I don't care what the issue is that separates you. It's too petty. And when I look at the sacrifices you made for the both of us, we sincerely say we love you and we thank you. And to all the mothers that are out there, we say we love you all. Have an amazing day. You're blessed. God loves you, and we love you too. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
Love you all.